Welcome to Two Therapists Talking. The hope for this podcast is to talk about important issues related to couples and individuals who are struggling in their lives with many different issues. I'm David Thompson, a marriage and family therapist.
And I'm Sherie Christensen, marriage and family therapist. Please join us as we explore these issues together, and we hope you will learn and be enlightened along the way. Come find us at twotherapisttalking.com. If you like what you're hearing, please get on and rate us and subscribe to the podcast. Hi, and welcome back to Two Therapists Talking. I'm Sherie.
And I'm David.
And we want to talk about a concept that we notice sometimes in therapy. And it has to do with addictive processes, but also other times in couple relationship dynamics. And it's something that I think is really important to notice. So we have kind of an extreme culture, I feel like. We like to put people in boxes, and we like to push things to kind of almost these extreme spaces
Drama,
sometimes.
Right. We're really thriving on this kind of stuff nowadays.
Right. And I think, I definitely think, like we've talked about this before, narcissism is kind of this buzzword, right, to incorporate and include anything that has to do with any type of selfishness or...
Selfishness, you'd think, was the focus. Almost now, just any behavior you don't like at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's a big basket.
Yes. And that can end up causing a lot of problems, right?
Right.
If we're labeling people and behaviors and things like that, then it puts them in the bad box, like them and the behavior in this bad box that is an extreme space and doesn't allow us to have conversation and to shift things. It's just like, here it is. And if you don't completely do something 100% different, then you're bad and I can't interact in this space.
Yep.
And yes, are there people who have NPD out there? 100% there are, right?
NPD.
Narcissistic personality disorder. Sorry, thank you for telling me to clarify.
There are,
yes.
and I think... But it wouldn't be a huge percent of the population.
It isn't a huge percent of the population.
It would be more rare than it is common.
Yes. And we see that, we have episodes where we've talked about this. So go back and listen to those episodes because we really go into detail about what these disorders actually are.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. Because when we take it outside of that context, then we have a lot of problems that arise from that. And we're throwing this around, and it's been a big buzzword in social media and in pop culture. And now we have all of these programs and books and all of these things about, get away from the toxic narcissist in your life.
Right, because this is the answer, but it's the answer for almost everything. You think about how popular, because now we're just talking about all this. You think about how popular the concept is that if somebody is doing something that you don't like in your life, or if they hurt you or have hurt you, cut them off.
Cancel. They're canceled.
They're done.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of people coming in that are saying, I don't talk to my parents anymore. I've cut them off. And if we do that enough, then first of all, we're not learning how to navigate challenging, difficult relationships, but likely the person you're going to be alone ultimately.
Yes.
But the person on the other end of this, more likely than not, would want to fix the thing that makes you be out of their life entirely. If the option is, I'm just never going to talk to you again, or we figure some things out, they probably are going to want to try to figure some things out.
Yes.
So there's just an extreme approach to problems, I feel.
Right. So I think part of that comes from, again, I think we tend to swing into extreme spaces in culture. So I think 50 years ago, we were in a very loyal, you have to kind of put up with everything and anything that anybody around you does to not rock the boat or because you're supposed to, all of those kinds of things. And we've recognize that not super healthy. It is a good idea to have boundaries. It is okay to be an independent, like your own self, and not be
Right.
enmeshed with whatever else is going on, right? With other people around you. We just have to go along to get along, or we just have to put up with things because we're married, or
It's respectful.
yes, or they're my
Yeah.
parents or whatever, right?
Yep.
And so we kind of move into that, or they're my boss or coworker. So we're recognizing, hey, we need to have some boundaries, and we need to be able to have a separation between me and you, that we can be different people. The issue that then arises is we swing, right? As we're trying to find a balanced middle, we're swinging way to the other side.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're canceling everyone,
Yep.
and you're not doing the things that I like, and so it's over. This doesn't work for me. And so the boundary is, I've heard it called a boundaries explosion, right? Where we are super strong with these boundaries. And this is causing
Boundaries.
problems.
It is. And I would put boundaries in the same overused box as narcissism and safety. We can talk about those too, but they're getting a lot of traction nowadays.
Right.
And they're not bad concepts.
They're not bad concepts. Yes, you absolutely should have boundaries.
Right. Boundaries are a good thing. We've done episodes on boundaries.
Yes, we have lots of episodes on boundaries. We talk about them all the time. But when we take it to this extreme place where we've done a boundaries explosion and we're completely cutting off that ability to connect, the ability to make repair, the ability to even have discussion around things, then we've got a problem. And so we're definitely seeing this with couples coming into therapy, where there's enough of an unhealthy patterns that have arisen, right? And both sides are, contributing to patterns, but there'll be something that is sort of deemed this very unsafe space.
Right.
And it heightens that person, that partner in the relationship, to a level where it is bigger than what's actually there happening in the situation.
Right.
Becomes quote unquote unsafe at such a huge level that now we can't actually work on things in relationship.
It's almost like you expect the solution to have to be as big as what this feels like. And so little improvements, I think, fly under the radar.
Yes.
You don't see them because it's such a big problem in your mind. I mean, really, we're highlighting just the power of perspective on things.
Right.
And if you really get it into your mind that a thing is this, it's pretty hard to come out of it. Mm-hmm. A man convinced against his will remains the same still.
Yes,
it's kind of the idea.
The same opinion still. Yes.
And speaking of unsafe, okay, soapbox, this word safety has become
David's
so
got a big
popular.
soapbox for this.
And it's grown over time. It didn't used to be this way. Over the last couple of years, I cringe just about now when I hear the word safety because of how it's used. Mm-hmm. If I hurt someone's feelings, they're unsafe. And they can throw that in my face and say, I'm not safe.
Yeah.
And
if you've hurt their feelings, yeah.
If you hurt their feelings. Now, it's a real word and it has real meaning, but it implies more danger. And you'll find that what fits better than safe or unsafe is comfortable or uncomfortable.
Right.
And I'm seeing that to be true a lot. And so, but we've highlighted before the importance of words and the words we use and how language shapes experience. The more words you have to describe something, actually the more you feel that thing, which is why we try so hard to expand vocabulary with emotion words and feelings. I don't want you to say, I'm sad or mad or happy, and that's it.
Right.
If you can use more words, there's more understanding, not only for you yourself, but for whoever you're talking to.
Exactly.
So I think words matter a lot. And when that happens, I feel uncomfortable. To me, is a way better way to say a thing and figure it out and find resolution and come to understanding, then you made me unsafe. I'm
Right.
unsafe with you. Kind of like that drops
Yes, it's the
the hammer, and
extreme
now it's
all
like,
or
okay,
nothing.
well, I guess I need to leave or something, or
Right.
what do I do with that?
Right.
I'm unsafe. And I think that language is getting in the way of couples healing and reconciling, like boundaries and this push for boundaries, and we need more boundaries. While boundaries aren't going to keep you comfortable all the time, the purpose of boundaries is not ease. But we kind of, it seems like, maybe start to get there where
Yeah.
everything and anything needs a boundary. Well, where does that leave us? This is like
Very
straitjacket
separate.
or bubble tape somewhere in a basement. Like, so good things to think about.
Yes. They're just, again, boundaries are important. Again, being emotionally safe in a relationship is important. And
Yeah.
being able to, like, get those needs and those things met is really important. The issue is we're seeing where these things can get pushed to an extreme. And when we're not using good language to talk about it, or when we're pushing boundaries so much and so hard that we're not leaving any room for connection, reconciliation, processing through and showing up differently, and expecting perfection in the result, then we're going to have a problem.
Right.
There is no way that someone is going to, okay, there's this big issue in the relationship. We're noticing it. We're seeing it. We're going to go into therapy. We're going to work on this thing. There's no way that's going to be perfect automatically.
Right.
And there's going to be a number of stuck spots as you're trying to work through that, where you're going to practice something. You're going to practice getting better at this individually and in the relationship. And you're going to hit these points where it's like, oh, like I'm still messing up with this aspect of it, or still I'm not like getting it all the way. And you're going to hit that wall a number of times until you can figure out what the stuck spot is and be able to resolve that and move through it.
Right.
But if a partner can't hold some open space for that movement and that hitting that wall enough times to figure out where the stuck spot is and move through it, if they're expecting that, oh, we're here and we just got this assignment to practice this and now we've got to be perfect moving through it, or they have to be perfect moving through it, or therefore I'm unsafe.
Right.
We're not going to get, there's no way that progress is going to happen.
You cannot move forward looking backwards at what's safe or not, or evaluating every situation for safety. It's kind of like you'll know it if it's truly dangerous. You'll know it. If it's uncomfortable, again, that's different. That's a different story. And there's going to be a lot of discomfort working through most of these things. There's exceptions to the rule, but I think
Right.
that this kind of tends to be the rule from what I've seen. And it really is just another form of victimhood. Now, we've done some episodes on victimhood.
Right.
It stops growth if we take this approach.
Yes.
And it kind of, honestly, we're more resilient than we give ourselves credit for. We can do harder things than we tend to think we can.
Yeah.
And this may be one of those hard things that we will find, more purpose from than we realize. And we'll end up stronger as a result. And these relationships will end up better as a result.
Yeah.
We've got to give it time and space to develop.
Yes.
And some of these words and concepts, if taken to extremes like what Sherry's talking about, only get in the way.
Yeah. They can keep us from developing what we want. They can keep us from the close, connected relationships that we're wanting and that are possible, right? There has to be some hope available for change.
Yeah, there does. Oh, wow.
And there has to be some belief in the other person and some love there. like
Yeah.
willingness to be gentle in that space of another person growing and progressing and trying to figure it out, even if they're falling flat on their face many times. You know, if that's where we're at and that falling on their face looks like someone going and sleeping with somebody else, then
Right.
we need then yes, strong boundaries.
That's
Yes,
extreme.
yes, that's a space where that's an extreme space where we need to have super strong boundaries around that,
Right.
where we need to say, okay, you know what? If that's going to continue, then yeah, there's going to be some solid space and maybe, separation, divorce, like if that's where you're falling on your face,
Yep.
right? But if someone isn't able to show up emotionally connected with you or something like that, that's not necessarily unsafe. That's a space of
Right.
like, oh, this doesn't feel, like David's saying, this
I don't
isn't
like it.
comfortable. I don't
don't
like
like it.
it. You're not holding emotional space for me. That doesn't feel good.
Right.
Can we talk about and work through and figure out the stuck spots? And maybe they will show up not very emotionally connected with you or able to hold emotional space for you for a little while.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that, oh, this is terrible, we've got to cut it off. We've got to just have super strong boundaries. I can never talk to you about emotional things again.
Right.
So this is such a tricky spot because it really is like we have to find that balanced middle where we are like respecting ourselves and setting healthy boundaries. And yes, we do need to be safe in our lives, right? But we also need to consider what level boundary do we need?
Yeah.
Are we really truly unsafe? And are we taking something to an extreme space where we're no longer allowing for some movement and connection unless it looks perfect?
Right. And just quick example, boundaries are going to be a lot more and a lot stronger if the motivation is a word like safe and unsafe. You
Yeah.
see the difference between comfortable and uncomfortable, it would be a different boundary.
Right.
I think just naturally, and that's where the extremist, approach or viewpoint is going to hurt you. Mm-hmm. So just some ideas here.
Yes, some things to think about, some things to just pay attention to as you're navigating relationships. Because I think really, especially, we see extreme on both sides. Like either someone's like not setting any boundaries and they're just letting people walk completely all over them all of the time and in an effort to quote unquote be nice and a good person, or there's the space of just extreme boundary, cut everyone off, nobody gets to come in, and guess what, that's going to end up being a lonely and disconnecting space. And we don't want to use the excuse that if it's not that extreme of a situation, we don't want to use the excuse that, well, they chose that and so now I have to do this in order to be safe. Again, like this is tricky. It's we want to make sure that we're being supportive of like that boundary space and the space of getting safety in extreme circumstances. But also we are seeing where it's getting taken to an extreme and people aren't able to actually grow and progress as couples and individuals.
Right.
So we just kind of wanted to throw that out there as something where people can sit with that and think about that.
Yep.
And how that's showing up, how that may be showing up in their own experiences. Because again, that victim space keeps us from being able to progress in relationship and with ourselves as well.
Yep. Definitely it does. So something to be mindful of and to think about.
And we'll talk to you later. Thank you for listening to Two Therapists Talking. We look forward to sharing more conversations with you. Connect with us at twotherapisttalking.com or email podcast@twotherapisttalking.com. If you like what you're hearing, please get on and rate us and subscribe to the podcast.